Hey, what's up, guys? In today's lesson, we are going to learn how to identify the slope. Okay, and so over the last couple of days, we've been talking about functions, and one of the ways that we can show or display a function is by a graph. Okay, and so today we're kind of gonna zoom in on the graphs and learn more about graphs and how to understand the function based on a graph. Okay, and so by the end of it, you're going to be able to identify what a positive and a negative slope is, and then also be able to actually determine what is the slope for any given function on a graph. Okay, so I'm going to start with some vocabulary, some terms that you're going to need to know. And so slope is a ratio, okay, and in this ratio you have this vertical change, which we're going to call it rise, and a horizontal change, we're going to refer to that as the run. Okay, and so we talked about functions have this relationship, and so you have points, x's and y's, and they're changing. And so the slope it tells you how is it changing, what is the rate of the change. Okay, and so for a graph, the slope is going to remain constant. Okay, and so it is always going to be the same regardless of what 2 points that you are on the graph. Okay, and so there are 4 different types of slopes. In this unit, we're just going to focus in on 3 of the 4. Okay, and so there's 4 total. For what you need to know this year, we're really only going to focus on the first 3. Okay, but we'll talk about that here in just a minute. And so slope, it is written as a fraction in simplest form. Okay, and so we're going to always have to reduce or simplify our slope if we can. And then the variable that we are going to use to refer to the slope is m. So m refers to the slope. Okay, so now let's look at the 4 types of slopes. The first type of slope is one that is a positive slope. Okay, and so a positive slope, it is moving up in the positive direction. Okay, and so the positives are moving to the right and they're moving up. That's the positive directions, to the right and then up. So one's that a slope that moves in that direction is a positive slope. Okay, negative numbers, they are down and they are to the left. Okay, so a slope that is moving down and to the left is a negative slope. It's moving down and then it's moving to the left. That is a negative slope. Okay. The other one that we are going to need to know is one where there's a line that's just a horizontal line. That one has a 0 slope. Okay, if it's just a horizontal line, that is 0 slope. And then the fourth and final one, which again we're not going to need to know that know this in this unit, but I'll go ahead and give it to you. It is undefined. Okay, one that is just a straight up and down vertical line, that slope is undefined. But for the purpose of what we're doing today, you don't need to focus on those. These first 3 are going to be the ones that we focus on. Okay, now, so what I want to do right now, before I talk about how to actually find the slope, I just want us to take a minute and look at our examples and figure out what type of slope do we have. Do we have a positive slope? Do we have a negative slope? Or do we have a 0 slope? Okay, and so again, for number 1, my graph is moving up into the right. It is moving up into the right. That is a positive slope. The next one is also moving up and to the right, that is also a positive slope. Okay, so right now all I'm doing is just identifying, okay, what type of slope is it? Okay, number three, it is moving down, okay, and it's going the opposite. It's not moving up, it's going down, okay, and so when it's going down, that is a negative slope, okay, when it is moving down. Number four, again, this slope, again, not moving up and to the right, it's moving down, down, that is a negative slope. Okay. Now, number five, okay, this one, again, this is the one that we are not gonna do. This is undefined, but again, I don't want us to worry about that one. We're not focusing on undefined slopes in this unit. That's one. So I want you to pause it, and I want you to see if you can figure out what are the slopes for 6 through 14. Okay, so pause it, take a moment. All you're doing is you're just looking at the graph. Is it moving up or is it moving down? If it's moving up, it's a positive slope. If it's moving down, it is a negative slope. All right, let's finish. Number 6 is a positive slope. Number 7, going down, that is a negative slope. Number 8 is moving up. It's a positive slope. Number 9 is moving down. That has a negative slope. Number 10, that is just a horizontal line. So that slope is 0. Number 11 is going down. It's going down. So that has a negative slope. Number 12 is going up. Has a positive slope. Number 13, also going up, positive slope. And then number 14 is going down, so that has a negative slope. Okay. And so hopefully we've done enough of these to see, again, when it is moving up, it is a positive slope. If it's moving down, it is a negative slope. That is going to be super, super important for you to know. That is one of the main ideas for this lesson. Okay, being able to identify whether or not it's a positive or negative slope. Now, for the rest of our time, we are actually going to figure out what the slope is. So now we're actually going to identify, again, what is the slope. And here is how you're going to do it. You're going to simply do it by counting. All right, that's right. For this lesson, all you're going to need to do is be able to count. And if you can count, then you will be able to identify what the slope is. And so to find the slope, which is the M, you are going to do rise over run. Okay, so rise over run. Slope equals rise over run. So what that means is you're going to start at the point, and really you can start at whichever point. I like to start on the point, it really just doesn't matter. I like to start, if I'm going on a positive, I like to start on the left and go to the right. If negative, sometimes, but it really doesn't matter if I start here or if I start there. I'm going to end up with the same thing. Okay, so let's look at the first one. I'm going to start here, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I get to that point? Well, I'm always going to rise, either go up or down, and then I'm going to go left or right. So I'm going rise. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now that gets me to the line. Okay, now I'm going to go over till I get to the point. So I rised 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over 5. So my slope is 4 over 5. And that's it. Okay, so again, rise, I'm going up or down. Then run, I'm going left or right. Okay, rise over run. I rise up, then I run. Okay, let's look at number 2. I'm going to start here. I'm going to go to the other point. I'm going to go rise first. Okay, got to go up first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then I'm going to run to get to the point. So I'm going to go here. 1, 2, 3. So I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I went over 1, 2, 3. Okay. So my slope is 6 over 3. Now remember, we said that the slope was written as a fraction in simplest form. So we got to simplify this if we can. Okay, now if you use Desmos, or if you struggle to reduce or to simplify, you can just use Desmos. Just type in the fraction 6 over 3 and it'll give you the fraction in simplest form. Or you can think 6 divided by 3 is just going to give me 2, right? And so 2 is the answer, okay? So 2 is the slope. And when the slope is just a whole number, I just want you to keep in mind that it really is like a 1 is underneath that. So even though this is just 2, and 2 is the slope is 2, but when it's a whole number, it really just has a 1 underneath it, okay? So I want to take a moment and show you that that is the slope. So imagine I started off here and I went up to 1, 2, and then I went over 1. Hopefully you see that now I'm still on the line. If I go up 2, over 1, I'm still on the line. Up 2, over 1, I'm still on the line. So 6 over 3 as the slope is the same thing as 2 over 1. They're both the same, okay? But you want to write your slope in simplest form. Okay? Now, let's look at the next one. These two we know they're gonna have a negative slope. So we're gonna start over here. Again, I do like to start with the left and then go to the point on the right. So now instead of going up, I gotta go down. So this time instead of rising by going up, I'm going down. I'm changing my height. Okay, so I'm gonna go down 1, 2. Okay, let me do that again. 1, 2, and I'm here. So I went down 2. Now because I went down, that is a negative 2. Okay, I went down. It's negative. Now I'm gonna go over to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so it is 2 over 6. Okay, and again, that's a negative 2 because I went down. And hopefully you see it's negative because I have this negative slope. Okay, now this is 2 over 6. To simplify that, okay, both of these are positive numbers. I can divide them both by 2. And this in simplest form is going to be negative 1/3. Okay, again, if you don't know how to simplify, really to simplify, all I'm doing is dividing both of these by 2. Okay, so 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, so this is my slope, 1 over 3. Okay, and so again, I can check that. Okay, so negative 1 over 3. So again, if I go here and I go down 1, then I go over 1, 2, 3, it's on my line. Down 1 over 1, 2, 3, it's on my line. Okay, so my slope is negative 1 over 3. All right, let's keep moving. Next one. Start here and I'm going to that point. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to go again, rise over run. Got to go up and down, then left or right. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? So now I'm here, so that's 7, and I went down, so that's a negative 7. And then I'm counting over to the point, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going over 4. Okay? So went down 7, over 4, okay? And again, it's a negative because I go in when I go down, I'm moving on in the negative direction. Okay, so that's how I get my negative. And we see this is a negative slope. Okay, 7 over 4. To see if I can simplify this, there's no number. This is an odd number. This is an even number. There's no number that goes into 7 and 4. No factor. So this is in simplest form. I don't have to simplify that. Okay. All right. So what I have shown you is being able to identify the slopes and being able to figure out what the slopes are. Okay. For this next one, I do want you can skip number 5 because the slope is undefined. You don't have to, there's no slope to figure out. But I want you to figure out what is the slope for the rest of these. Okay. And so, guys, again, in order to find it, you rise up or down, then you run left or right. Rise over run. Okay. Now, I want you to pause it, and I want you to try to figure out the rest of them on your own, okay? If you want to draw, matter of fact, I would encourage you to draw the little squiggly lines to, show that you're going up and down or left and right. And then, then I want you to restart the video to show, just to check your answers. Again, you're going to have to practice with this. All you're doing is counting, rise, run. See if you can identify the slope for the remaining problems. Two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, All right. I hope this has helped you be able to identify whether or not a slope is positive or negative, and to be able to determine what the slope is given a graph.